Hi everyone, Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw! I must be a different Jake, 'cause I've got a green hoodie on. I'm Jake number 9. Is that a Jake I've named before? Nope, Jake number 9 has a green hoodie. And I keep getting this question asked to me when I am on stream, and the question is, which defender is best? Which one should I buy? I get a lot of, should I get Snorlax or Blastoise? Mamoswine or Blastoise? This person or Blastoise? Should I get Blastoise? I'm getting asked over and over and over again. So I'm going to go through all the defenders in this video. I'm going to give you my opinions on each one. I'm going to try to rank them, and I'm going to tell you which order I think you should pick them up in based on your play style. Before that, we do have a sponsor for this video. I'm proud to announce that everyone here at the Content Cowboy organization is partnered with Swordmates.com. That's right, Swordmates.com. It's like Postmates, but for swords. Let me guess, it's Friday night. You don't know what you want to do. How about you order some really cool custom swords to your door? Or you're on a hot date. It's ending soon, but it looks like the two of you are going back to your place, and you want some custom swords waiting for you when you get home. Currently, they don't have an app, but if you just go to swordmates.com. No. This is unbelievable. I gotta call my guy. Hey, Dylan? It's Jake. Jake, the content cowboy. Well, I don't care if you remember me. This is about the whole Swordmates deal. How could they have gone out of business? You're making me look like an idiot, Dylan. You know, Dylan, if you weren't so good at pool, you wouldn't be my agent. Well, you know something? He hung up on me. Well, since I have no sponsor, if you could find it in your heart to become a member here on YouTube, that would be a great way to support me. On to the video. Here we have all of our defenders inside Pokemon Unite. We've got Slowbro, Snorlax, Crustle, the newly added Mamoswine, and the pretty recently added Blastoise. Now, Slowbro and Crustle you get for free with in-game events. So, as far as purchasing them, I don't even think you can purchase Slowbro. You get that right when you start the game. And Crustle you get very soon. You do get a coin refund if you buy a unit and then you get that unit. So, if you really want to play Crustle early before that 7-day unlock, you can do that. Otherwise, Snorlax can be gotten if you pick him as your starter Pokemon, and then Mamoswine and Blastoise are only, did I call him Blast Ice? Mamoswine and Blast Ice, got it right that time, are only available for purchase, 8,000 coins each. First, let's briefly talk about each one of our defenders. We've got our buddy Slowbro here. Slowbro is, I think, kind of the most unsung of the defenders right now. As a class, the defenders are amazing. They are just one of the best groups inside Unite. Every single one of them is a good Pokemon. A few things I really like about Slowbro. I really like Slowbro's ability Surf. I think it is an amazing hindrance ability. It knocks enemies up multiple times. Some people like Scald. These people are what are known as mentally insane. They're the kind of people that get put in an asylum. Not only are they insane, they're criminally insane, but no, it's a fun move. It happens every 5 seconds, it does decent damage, and it adds a debuff to enemies' attack. So if you have an attack-heavy enemy team, you can use a move like Scald, and also if you're crazy. Telekinesis and Amnesia are the other two options here. I think Amnesia is a really weird choice on Slowbro. It doesn't really do what you need it to do, but Telekinesis is amazing. If you can pick off the right enemies, you hold them up in the air with Telekinesis, and then at the last second, you can pull them towards you if you want. It's really great, especially if you're working with other people who know how to take advantage of it. And then his Unite move is a slow beam. It's basically telekinesis again, but it deals damage and it binds the enemy for a while. It can also cancel Unite moves, like specifically Cramorant's is a great one to cancel. I have a video on my channel of Slowbro using both Surf and Scald, and I use my Unite move on Cramorant multiple times. It's a really, really mean thing to do. On Slowbro, I like building my items something like this. I've been playing around more and more with the Assault Vest. Another option for your held items here would be either a Buddy Barrier or possibly a Muscle Band. Buddy Barrier would just help an ally whenever you use your Unite. They get that barrier, and they're going to be around you, hopefully, because you're picking someone up and holding them the whole time. I guess you don't pick them up with that one, but you hold them the whole time, so you give an ally a shield, kind of a cool option. I just like the Assault Vest because he has so much HP that having a shield around you like that is pretty fun. And then Score Shield, kind of self-explanatory, one of my favorite items in the game. You can score so much because of it. You can win games because of it. And then Focus Band just keeps you alive for a long, long time. Slowbro is in a weird position, as I said, with a lot of the defenders because he just doesn't feel as soloable. And I think that's one of the things that I'm really going to focus on in this video is which defenders can you play with alone and which defenders do you really need a coordinated team. Slowbro feels like a coordinated team helps out a lot, especially with those picks from Telekinesis. Snorlax is our next defender. Snorlax, oh Snorlax. I mean, a very beloved Pokemon. At one point, this Pokemon was, I think, the best Pokemon in the game, at least the most useful. Heavy Slam and Block are unbelievable moves. There's also the Flail build with Snorlax. I find that build to be more of a meme, definitely a solo queue build. It's fun. You do a lot of damage, but I really don't think it's as ideal as Heavy Slam and Block. Basically, Heavy Slam lets you position yourself so you jump to an area of the map and you knock people up, and then you are able to use Block, which is that big shield that he puts out in front of him and pushes enemies around. There are tons of videos online and a lot on my channel of moments where you really abuse Block. I think it's amazing. One of the best moves. It might be the best single move inside of Pokemon Unite. And then his Unite move just gives you a ton of HP, so you kind of get all your HP back from an encounter. It's a nice way, if enemies have targeted you a ton, to get your HP back. You also do some damage and knock them up, and if you have an item like a Buddy Barrier on, you give an ally a shield, so it can turn battles around in a pretty intense way. I like a Focus Band Score Shield, Buddy Barrier on Snorlax, specifically that Buddy Barrier because when you use your Unite, you get a bunch of health and so does an ally. So I just kind of like that combination. Focus Band is incredible, especially on someone with a lot of HP. They just gain a ton of HP back every time their Focus Band is popped. And then Score Shield, again, I think is one of the best items inside the game. Snorlax is incredible. I think still it does require some teamwork. It's not the most soloable defender either. The most soloable defender would probably go to our next defender here, and that's Crustle. Crustle is one of my favorite Pokemon to play in the game. Crustle's abilities, Sturdy is a really nice passive. Crustle's moves, I should say. Shell Smash, I think you have to take, especially if you're playing solo. And it's because you are able to zip around the map in such an amazing way. You can score goals on enemy goals. They can't stop you. They already kind of can't stop you because your health is so high. And now you can move to any point in the map you need. It's great playing top lane with Crustle because you can get to Dreadnought so fast, so you can actually be in top lane a little longer than you'd expect, or you could get there way earlier than the enemy expects. And then the next two moves, I think there are good choices either way, Stealth Rock or X Scissor. I personally run Stealth Rock more often. It creates that little area of rocks that does increasing damage over time inside of it. It's great for taking objectives, which is one of the things Crustle does better than anyone. X Scissor, tons of damage, tons of CC, being able to push the enemy around the map. CC stands for crowd control. So both really great moves. I personally prefer Stealth Rock. And then its Unite move is awesome. You get a big shield, and enemies around you are unable to act for a brief moment. And then you deal damage over time to anyone standing around you. Basically, if you're on Dreadnought or Zapdos, you throw your Stealth Rock, you use your Unite move, you use a Fluffy Tail, you can steal so many objectives with Crustle, and that's why it's so amazing to play solo. You also have the mobility to be at any team fight your team needs you for. Held items wise, I like a setup like this. Crustle's abilities can crit, so a Scope Lens I think is very good. Crit stands for critical hit. Score Shield I think is an absolute must, and Buddy Barrier also pretty incredible here. I could see you swapping out Buddy Barrier possibly for a Focus Band or something like that. Crustle's kind of un-KOable anyway, but I could see that. Maybe even an Assault Vest. If you don't want to play critical hits as an option, I'd probably just go ahead and put a Focus Band on here. Maybe even an Assault Vest. It wouldn't be a terrible idea, but you do kind of get to combat pretty fast with Crustle. Crustle is just so good at being everywhere at once, which is why it's so good as a solo queue player. Let's talk about Mamoswine. It's a swine, it's a swine, it's a Mamoswine. Can't believe I was kicked out of Destiny's Child when I wasn't even in Destiny's Child. Okay, Mamoswine is the newest defender added to Pokemon Unite. I think Mamoswine, I kind of realized this earlier on stream, it actually kind of plays like Machamp to me. I think Mamoswine is super fun. One of its... Okay, it has so many fun things. Its basic attack, its boosted freezes people. That's so fun and so good. Its thick fat ability, its passive ability here, it increases defense and special defense up to 3 times when you are hitting people with your attacks. So, and I believe moves as well. So, the more you're in combat, the more sturdy you are as you're continuing to fight. It's just such a fun Pokemon to be up in the mix with. Its abilities, Icicle Crash and Ice Fang. I think Ice Fang is so fun. I think Icicle Crash is probably better. It's just really easy to hit people with. It does a good amount of damage, and it also helps you position. Ice Fang literally picks someone up, and you can throw them behind you. It's also such a fun move to use. I don't love either of its ground options, Earthquake or High Horsepower. I've seen more people trying out High Horsepower lately. I personally like Earthquake better. Earthquake's kind of a leap, and you leap onto enemies, and then they get sucked towards you a little bit. High Horsepower, you dash at them, hit them, and then slam on the ground. I just don't like the amount of time High Horsepower takes. And then its Unite move, Mammoth Mash, really nice for crowd control. It knocks people up multiple times and you're immune to hindrances. But strangely enough, I find that it does a low amount of damage. I have a few complaints about Mamoswine, and that's one of them. I think its Unite move really should do more damage. Item-wise, there are a few ways to build Mamoswine, and I'm not positive what's best, but right now I'm using a Focus Band, Muscle Band, Score Shield most of the time. I could see swapping out Score Shield here if you want to go for a higher damage build, and actually this is a Pokemon that I think you could run Weakness Policy on. Kind of a different choice, because most Pokemon I would not recommend Weakness Policy at all, but you're up in the mix a ton with this Pokemon. Your defenses are higher when you're fighting more, and now your attack would be higher when you're fighting more. So definitely an option. The reason I wouldn't run a Buddy Barrier on Mamoswine is because you don't get to use your Unite too much as Mamoswine. I think probably twice a match, whereas other Pokemon who evolve a little faster, I find that I'm using my Unite 3 times a match. Crustle maybe 4 or 5 times a match, just because you clear enemy Pokemon and score so much that your Unite charges a lot faster. Just my opinion on the items. In fact, everything in this video is just my opinion, to be fair. And let's talk about the final defender, Blastoise. Blastoise was, up until Mamoswine, the most recently added defender. I'm getting a phone call. Tragically enough, it was not news about my sponsorship, so still no sponsor. Here we go, Blastoise. I think people probably thought that might have been a setup to a joke. It wasn't. Okay, Blastoise is incredible. When you use your basic attacks, when you hit with your boosted attack, the cooldowns of your moves are reduced. It's a passive ability, isn't something that's crazy good, but when you're at half HP or less, your attack and special attack are increased, so you do more damage at that point. Something to think about when using some of your moves. Its builds are Hydro Pump, Surf, or kind of Water Spout Surf right now. It used to be Rapid Spin and Water Spout. Rapid Spin and Water Spout were set up in a way where you would be spinning, using your Water Spout as well to do extra damage, and using your basic attacks at the same time to do ludicrous damage. You were doing more damage with this Pokemon than anyone. That's still an okay build, but I think right now for me, Hydro Pump Surf is the stronger choice. It's great. You can move people around so well. It does so much damage. Blastoise's Unite move is absurd. It is absurd the amount of damage this Unite move does. It's crazy to me that they have not nerfed this Unite move by now. Held items wise, I go Focus Band, Score Shield, Buddy Barrier, something like this. You could probably swap out Buddy Barrier because you do get a shield with your Unite for something like a Muscle Band. Maybe if you want to raise special attack somehow, you could. Possibly, maybe with Specs. I'm not even really sure because he doesn't have that high of a number, so I don't think Wise Glasses work that well. Maybe Choice Specs, honestly, wouldn't be a bad one if you really want to do more special attack damage, but I kind of like this setup right here. It's pretty basic, but it works really well for your defenders. So, Blastoise, I would say, is the next best Pokemon when it comes to soloing some of your enemies. I think, soloing some of your games. So, what I mean by that is, when you're running with a full set team, it's easier to make plays. And when you're making plays, Slowbro, Snorlax, and Mamoswine feel like they all do that pretty well on coordinated teams. Crustle and Blastoise still do that very well, but also run really well in the solo queue. So if you're a solo player, I feel like Crustle and Blastoise are probably your strongest options. As far as team play goes, all of these defenders are amazing. Look, they're all amazing in general, so you could pick any of them up. Now, I'm going to rank them, and I'm going to tell you why I'm ranking them, where I am ranking them. Let me take you over to a handy-dandy tier list. Okay, here we are in a familiar space, a tier list space. It was the tier list space, the tier list space. I have 5 tiers because we have 5 Pokemon, and I'm going to rank them. We have the best choice, okay, maybe also the best choice, the super solid tier, strong but a 4th choice tier, and the B tier. Still got the B tier. So I'm going to try to rank all these Pokemon, and I'm going to tell you why I'm putting them where I'm putting them. Again, I think all the defenders are pretty amazing. I think it's the most stacked group of Pokemon in the game. Maybe the supporters are just as stacked. Every single one of these Pokemon are good and will help your team. And then all the other Pokemon you see down here, I'm not going to rank any of these Pokemon. They have nothing to do with this. They're all B tier for sure. I'm going to start with, this might be the most controversial thing I've ever done. When people are asking me who to buy, they often say, should I get Blastoise or Snorlax? Or should I get Blastoise or Mamoswine? Jake. Lots of people are trying to decide between Blastoise and Mamoswine. Blastoise and Mamoswine are great, and so is Snorlax. I think I'm going to rank Snorlax first. Snorlax is going to be... You know, when I'm playing, I'm not putting him in the B tier. When I'm playing this game and I'm thinking about how to give advice to other people, part of me thinks about what they're using this Pokemon in. If you're using this Pokemon in a coordinated team, I don't know if anyone really tops Snorlax. So in that sense, I want to put him in best choice. But when you're using this Pokemon solo, I actually think he falls quite a bit. So I'm trying to figure out where I would like to put this. If you're looking to buy someone, all right, so here's how I'm going to come at this list. I'm going to come at this list mostly from a solo queue perspective, and I'm going to talk to you about the differences in a full 5-person team, but the strategies are so different for when you're playing with you and a friend, or you and a full group, or just you alone, right? If you're playing with just you alone, I have to think that Snorlax is in the super solid tier. A great Pokemon, a great choice. You can play the Flail build. You also can use this Pokemon with Heavy Slam block. It's never bad to have a Snorlax in a game. However, given that you can't really get your team to do anything you want them to do, they're going to do whatever they do, and hopefully what they do is good for the synergy of your team, right? Given that you can't control them, and some of what Snorlax does is position and push people around, I have to say that I think it's a super solid choice, but not your best choice for playing all on your lonesome. Yeah, I think so. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Now, no, I'm not talking about Mamoswine. The elephant in the room is Blastoise. Blastoise is the Pokemon that every single defender gets compared to, at least when I'm asked about it. And I think it's because people play against Blastoise and they see how unbelievably brutal its Unite is, how much damage it's doing with all of its moves. It's good in lane. It's not as good in the jungle anymore, but it was incredibly good in the jungle. For a little while, this was by far the best Pokemon in the game. So I am going to say that currently, solo and sometimes in a team as well, I think Blastoise is the best choice for defender. If you were going to compare this to any defender to purchase, I would say, yes, Blastoise is your best option. No one really competes with Blastoise. So when you're comparing it to Mamoswine and Snorlax, if you have none of them and you want one of those three, I would definitely recommend Blastoise. It does a lot of damage. It moves people around the battlefield still. You can still play its Rapid Spin build. Its Unite's insane. I think Blastoise is the best defender for most situations. And now we have two defenders left that are not the new defender. We have Crustle and we have Slowbro. And you know what? I'm just going to bring up Mamo as well. Okay, these three defenders are conveniently going to fall into these three categories. And I think what I'm about to do right now is, just like Claire blew up the Bachelorette, I think I might be blowing up this tier list right here, because I think the second best choice is Crustle. I think Crustle is incredible. Playing Crustle solo is totally viable. You can climb with Crustle. Crustle steals objectives, just as I said before. I think Crustle is one of the best Pokemon in the game. And, you know, solo, it might even be better than Blastoise in some ways, honestly. It's so incredibly good that I think it takes that spot. And now I have to decide where these two go. And here we go. That's what I think right now. I think Mamoswine is good. I think you can be amazing with it. I think every defender on this list is very, very legit. And I also think it might be the least viable defender to play as. Maybe I could see an argument for Slowbro, but play some Slowbro. Play Slowbro. You win games with Slowbro. He's very, very good. You shut enemies down with his Unite. You pick them up and bring them to your team. You knock them up with Surf, or you play Scald if you're the Riddler or the Joker or something. You know, again, this is all my opinion, but I really, really do like Slowbro more than I like Mamoswine. I think Mamoswine is good. I think you would be a solid defender with Mamoswine. I think Ice Fang might be a little tough as far as playing solo, especially if you're up against like a Wiggly or a Blissey. I would not run Ice Fang because they can kind of cancel your abilities there. Mamoswine's really good. Everyone on this list is really good. But I do think for me, it's probably the worst choice from the defenders right now. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. I need more time. I need more time with all of these Pokemon. I need more time to figure out exactly what Mamoswine is good with. And I'm sure there's going to be someone who, rightfully so, says, I saw this team running Mamoswine. They're some of the best players out there. They think it's one of the best Pokemon. Here's how they run it. That's all totally possible. But especially solo, I kind of think this is how it shakes out. I could see an argument for it looking like this. I could. I totally could. But right now, this is where I'd put it. So if you're asking me if you should buy Mamo or Snorlax or Blastoise, my order would be Blastoise, then Snorlax, then Mamoswine. But after you have three defenders, you literally get Slowbro for free, Crustle for free, and then one other defender. I don't know how many defenders you really need. I don't think you need more than that. But that's my opinion of this little tier list here. And just for fun, you know, for all the people who skip to the end, we always move it around a little bit just to have a good time, right? Let's see. What looks believable here? So there you have it. Blastoise? Mamoswine. Mamoswine. You know, earlier in the video, if you're just coming here at the end, you might think, why is he saying Blastoise? You'll have to go earlier in the video to find that out. But as I said, Blastoise is the best choice, followed by Blastoswine, then Snorlax. No one is a strong fourth choice, and then both Slowbro and Crustle, unfortunately, end up in the B tier. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope this made it easier for you to choose your defender. I love you. Goodbye. Mwah.